Before we begin, take a second and imagine this. What if one joke changed 3 lives forever? What if the words, "Open the safe and I'll marry you," spoken in laughter, became a promise no one expected to keep? Stay with me until the very end, because this story will warm your heart in a way you won't see coming. And if you believe in second chances, in quiet strength, and in the courage of children, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this deserve to be shared. The joke was supposed to last 5 seconds. It happened during the annual charity gala hosted by Ardent Technologies, one of the fastest-growing companies in the city. The ballroom shimmered under crystal chandeliers. Executives laughed over champagne. Cameras flashed. At the center of it all stood the company's brilliant, untouchable CEO, Adrian Whitmore. Adrian Whitmore was known for 2 things: his sharp mind and his sharper tongue. At 38, he had built a corporate empire from scratch. He had money, power, influence, and absolutely no time for relationships. The tabloids called him the Bachelor King. He called himself focused. That night, Ardent was raising money for a children's education foundation. To entertain the crowd, Adrian had arranged a playful challenge. A large antique safe sat on the stage, rumored to contain a mysterious prize donation. The catch: no one knew the combination. Anyone who can open it, Adrian announced with a smirk, gets what's inside. The audience chuckled. Then, in a moment of arrogance wrapped in humor, he added, "And if by some miracle someone actually cracks it, I'll marry them." The room erupted in laughter. Cameras zoomed in. It was classic Adrian: bold, dramatic, impossible. In the back of the ballroom stood Lily Reyes. Daniel didn't belong in rooms like that. His suit was clean but worn. His shoes were polished but old. He wasn't a CEO or an investor. He was an IT maintenance contractor hired to ensure the gala's tech ran smoothly. Beside him stood his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Lily had big curious eyes and a mind that never stopped turning. She wore a simple pale blue dress from a discount store, but she carried herself like royalty. Daniel had debated bringing her, but childcare had fallen through, and she had begged to see where Daddy works. They were invisible to most of the room. But Lily wasn't watching the glittering dresses or expensive watches. She was staring at the safe. Earlier that evening, while Daniel checked the audio system on stage, Lily had wandered close enough to overhear something important. 2 executives were whispering about the safe's combination. It wasn't random. It was Adrian's late mother's birthday, reversed. Lily remembered numbers the way other children remembered songs. When Adrian repeated his joke and the laughter settled, something sparked in her. She tugged her father's sleeve. "Daddy, I know how to open it." Daniel chuckled softly. "Sweetheart, it's not that simple." But Lily's expression didn't change. It wasn't childish excitement. It was certainty. Before Daniel could stop her, Lily slipped through the crowd. There's something about a small child walking confidently toward a stage full of powerful adults that makes people pause. The music softened. Murmurs spread. Adrian raised an eyebrow as the little girl climbed the steps. "And who might you be?" he asked, amused. "Lily," she replied, her voice steady. "You said if someone opens it, you'll marry them." The audience laughed again. Adrian crouched slightly to meet her eye level. "That's right, but it's very hard." She nodded. "It's your mom's birthday." Backwards. The smile disappeared from Adrian's face. The ballroom fell silent. Daniel felt his stomach drop. Adrian stared at her for a long moment. His mother had passed away 10 years earlier. Only a handful of people knew he still used her birthday as a password for personal things. It wasn't public knowledge. "Go on," he said quietly. Lily turned the dial. The clicking of the mechanism sounded louder than the orchestra had moments before. 1 turn, 2, 3, a pause, then, click. The safe door swung open. Gasps rippled across the room. Inside was a velvet case containing a rare diamond bracelet donated for auction. But no one cared about the bracelet. All eyes were on Adrian. He stood frozen, staring at the open safe like it had betrayed him. The joke had landed, and somehow, impossibly, a little girl had taken it seriously. Daniel rushed to the stage, apologizing profusely. "I'm so sorry, sir. She didn't mean, she just hears things and remembers, she's very smart, But Adrian wasn't angry. He was studying Lily. "How did you know?" he asked gently. "I heard the men talking," she said honestly. "And Daddy says when someone talks about someone they love, you should listen." Something shifted behind Adrian's eyes. The gala ended in awkward laughter and viral headlines. CEO's marriage joke backfires. Little girl outsmarts tech titan. The video trended for days. But what happened afterward was quieter. Adrian couldn't stop thinking about her. About the certainty in her voice. About the way she said, "Someone they love." He had built walls so high that even joy struggled to climb over them. His mother had been his only real family. After she passed, he had poured everything into work. Marriage had always seemed inefficient. Yet somehow, a child had cracked more than a safe that night. A week later, Daniel received a call from Ardent Technologies. He assumed he was being fired. Instead, Adrian requested a meeting. Daniel walked into the sleek executive office with Lily's small hand in his. Adrian didn't waste time. "I don't break promises," he said calmly. "I made a public statement. I intend to honor it." Daniel blinked. You were joking." "Yes," Adrian admitted. But she wasn't. Lily tilted her head. "Are you going to marry me?" Daniel nearly fainted. Adrian actually laughed. A genuine, unguarded laugh. "Not you, Lily. You're a bit young." She thought about that. "Oh, okay." Adrian's expression softened as he looked at Daniel. "I meant," he continued, "if your father were willing, perhaps we could consider something unconventional." Daniel stared in disbelief. "You don't even know us." Adrian folded his hands. "I know your daughter is brilliant. I know you've raised her alone since your wife passed away." He paused. "And I know I haven't felt something real in a very long time." The truth spilled slowly after that. Adrian didn't propose out of obligation. He proposed out of curiosity, and something dangerously close to hope. The arrangement began simply. Adrian funded Lily's education at one of the best private schools in the city. Daniel was offered a permanent IT director position, triple his previous pay. They started having dinners. At first, it was awkward. Daniel felt out of place among polished silverware and private chefs. Adrian struggled to understand bedtime routines and homework help. But Lily bridged the gap effortlessly. She asked Adrian about his mother. She asked Daniel to teach Adrian how to fix a broken kitchen drawer instead of calling staff. Slowly, laughter replaced tension. Adrian began coming home earlier. He attended Lily's school science fair. He learned how to braid hair, badly. Daniel watched cautiously. He had spent years protecting Lily from disappointment. He wasn't about to let a billionaire's whim break her heart. But Adrian stayed. Months passed. What began as a viral spectacle turned into something deeply human. Adrian proposed properly one evening, not as a joke, not as a spectacle, but quietly in their living room. "Open the safe and I'll marry you," he whispered playfully to Daniel, holding out a small ring box. "Turns out, it was my heart that needed unlocking." Daniel said yes. Their wedding was intimate. No headlines, no publicity stunts, just three people choosing each other. The real challenge came later. Adrian had to learn that success at work didn't guarantee success at home. Daniel had to confront his insecurity about living in a world of wealth. Lily had to adjust to sharing her father. There were arguments, moments of doubt. Adrian missed an important school recital once. Lily didn't speak to him for 2 days. Instead of retreating into work like he used to, Adrian apologized. He showed up, over and over. That's what changed everything. Not the money, not the safe. Consistency. Years later, at another charity gala, Lily, now a confident teenager, stood on stage beside Adrian and Daniel. She shared her story with the audience. "My dad always says you should listen when someone talks about someone they love," she began. "That night, I listened. And it opened more than a safe." The crowd wiped tears. Adrian squeezed Daniel's hand. Because the truth was simple. It had never been about a joke. It had never been about a promise. It was about a lonely man who thought his life was complete, a single father who thought he had nothing to offer, and a little girl who saw a lock and believed it could be opened. Some safes hold jewels, some safes hold memories, and some hold hearts waiting for someone brave enough to turn the dial. If this story touched you, if it reminded you that love sometimes arrives in the most unexpected ways, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because sometimes, the impossible just needs someone small enough, and brave enough, to believe it can be done.